So I have to thank Auntie Marguerite and Uncle Pat for introducing NuSkin to my mother. That was in, I think, 1990, right? 1990, so a long time ago. And I was Mom's first distributor. So as the story goes, and you are all familiar with, you might ask somebody 4 or 5 times to join the business, and they may say no, but you should keep asking, because the timing might not be right. You're planting the seeds. And so Auntie Marguerite and Uncle Pat asked Mom several times, and it was their check that really made her think about it. And then she called me up and she said, I'm going to join this skincare business. It's called NuSkin. Do you think I should do it? I said, no, it might be a scam. You better not do that. So I actually did a lot of the due diligence for her. So she asked me to look it up and I looked it up and I said, these products seem really, really good. I said, go ahead, sign me up too. So I've been a product of the product since 1990. And
let me add something. She's the mother of 4 kids.
No.
How old is one?
Grown kids.
How old are they
23 down to 16.
See what NuSkin can do for you?
Wow.
So my mom joined NuSkin, sort of like Auntie Marguerite, just to help put her kids through school. I don't know how many of you are sort of doing it so you can have a little bit of more income. So to put me through medical school, my sister through law school. I was already dating Eric when I joined, so he's been doing NuSkin since 1990 as well. So, you know, and so my mom built the business the old way, 1.0, just like Phyllis. And Mom and Phyllis have known each other for a very, very long time. So they started with napkin presentations and faceless laying on the floor like Sandy Tillotson always shows on her videos. And this took a while. It took a really long time for my mom to build her business. And meanwhile, Eric and I got married. We had our 4 kids. I'm a doctor. He was in IT. He owned his own business. So we were living the American dream. You know, we had our 4 kids. We had a nice house. We were sending them to music lessons and so violin lessons, dance lessons. They were playing sports. We thought, this is what it's all about, right? You work hard so that your kids can have what you didn't have, right? My mom got pancreatic cancer, and she passed away almost 5 years ago. It doesn't seem that long. Yeah, it doesn't seem that long. And I guess, you know, at that point, Mom had been doing this for 20-something years. It took her a really long time, but she was Team Elite. She was a $10 million circle member. And she had built a small business to her, which was just to take her kids through school, into a life-changing business where she impacted a whole bunch of people internationally. So she was one of the biggest ones in Hong Kong. And so when Eric and I took over the business, I guess, you know, I wanted to figure out what I was going to say differently this time. And, you know, we're so lucky when we took over. I'm a physician, just like Uncle Pat said. If my kids wanted to go to medical school, could I give them, even if I reached the highest level in medicine, even if I owned my own business, they would have to go into the same profession you did, and I would have to own the business in order for them to take it over. And it would be brick and mortar, going in every day. And it's not the kind of security, as Phyllis was saying, there's no guarantee with that. But my mom left me this legacy of this business that just keeps on giving and giving. And it's not just monetary, right? So we've talked about the force for good. We've talked about sort of a legacy of giving back, of helping people and changing lives. And it's allowed Eric and I to travel together and work together, because he's in IT and I'm in medicine, and we didn't get to do that. And it's also something we didn't think we'd be able to leave our children. Financial security, and we can give them our time now, and we couldn't before. So I guess I'm challenging you, for those who are in NuSkin, they're sort of just, this is for a little extra money. This is, you know, I've been doing it for a while. It took inheriting the business for me to have my eyes open and to see what an amazing opportunity for your life. It's not just, this is not just a profession. This is actually a way of life. Uncle Pat and Auntie Marguerite aren't really related to me, but they're my NuSkin family. So they are, in a way, Phyllis is my NuSkin family. I mean, these are people who've known Mom for decades. And so since Mom worked with them, they say, oh, this is what your mom taught me. So even when Mom's not around anymore, I am living her legacy, and people around me are saying, this is what your mom taught me. My mom is still teaching. She's still giving back to me. And if you want to do that for your children, or whoever you would want to leave the business to, this is the way to really do it. it's given us a lease on our health. And it's great to look nice, but it's really great when you have a healthy body. So, you know, I was able to run marathons with my children. You know, I only started running in my 40s, so I'm not a long-time marathon runner, but I can only do this with 40 packs of overdrive, okay, and life packs. So this is, you know, something, and just like Vicki, I powerlifted with my son. And Vicki's 76 and she's powerlifted. So this is due to our next products. So I really encourage you, this is not just a business everything. This is really a way of life, and it's a way of changing other people's lives. It's being the best you, but not just for you, but for all the people that you touch with this business. So I didn't want to take too much time because I know that we are moving on to a lot of other things. But
pretty much said everything. So like Kristen said, we've been doing it for a long time, but we really started doing it after Mom passed away. So we already knew the business, knew the product. And the things we didn't know really was the NuSkin family. So I pretty much do this full time. I fly to Hong Kong about 3 to 4 times a year. And just the people that Mom brought into the business, it's her family. You know, they're teaching us and we're teaching them. And what's really nice about it, because I work in the corporate world, is that we're working together because their success is our success. And Mom did this for us, but we're also helping them do it for their children and whoever else they're going to leave this business to. So most of you watch the news and you hear about all these corporate leaders. They all have golden parachutes. And if you're working in those corporate jobs, I don't know if you have a golden parachute. And that's actually why I left my, you know, I did IT and I left that business to start my own IT business. So I did that for 5 years, and I did really, really well. So I left working in a corporate company for 5 years, and I did my consulting business for 13 years. And that's about the same time Mom started her NuSkin business. So Mom told me, "What are you doing? Why are you quitting your high-paying IT job? You know, we just had our 2nd kid." She said, "Why would you do that? You know, you have insurance and all this stuff." I said, "Well, Mom, it's just as risky for me to be there." And every year I was getting, every 1 to 2 years I was getting a new boss. So I was doing really well for about 13 years. I was making probably over 200, 300,000 just, it was me doing the business. Mom started the business, NuSkin. I told her, "What are you doing?" Because NuSkin only had 20 products. And she wasn't making anything when she started. She was down here. I started up here about $200,000 to $300,000 a year. But when I stopped doing my business, I had no income. But meanwhile, what Mom was doing was she was building her family, her infrastructure for her NuSkin business. She was building a global business, even though she might not have been totally aware of it. That's what she was doing. And you know, when she passed away in 2013, she didn't get to receive the recognition for her $10 million. I actually picked it up for her on Macau. So, and you talk about a gift that she gave us and our family, because we'll be passing it on to our kids. So what you're really doing, no matter how long you take, and one thing Mom always taught us is don't quit. Because what you're doing is actually adding, each executive you're adding is not just for the year, it's for the long term. So whether you add it, your kids add it, you're building your organization. Whereas your corporate job, you might be training new people, adding new people, but it's not, you're not going to pass it on. I mean, that's just me being pretty frank about that. So this is an amazing business, not just for the money. We travel around not because we're trying to make more money, we're actually trying to give this business to other people so they can have the same opportunities we have. So we enjoy teaching and training our partners. Like I met Phyllis in 2013 for the very first time, and we, traveled, and I've been to Vancouver. I mean, I didn't know her prior to it, so our paths would never have crossed without NuSkin. And if I worked in IT, I never would have crossed paths with her at all. So
Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing story that I can go around the world. Just last week, we have an emerald in the Netherlands. Mom was so busy, she was all over the place. So just imagine that. Mom planted the seed probably 20 years ago in the Netherlands. And she's worked really hard. It's a small market. She's become an emerald. mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So really like this time, if you haven't woken up to what the opportunity is, this is the best time to really make NuSkin work for you. You can say, I've been doing this 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it's never worked for me. This might be your time. Really look at it again, because, you know, like our downline in the Netherlands, she's been doing this for a long time. She never grew, she never had an executive under her until like two years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and now she's in that role. I mean, you know, so, and she's been doing this for 20 years. So this may be your time. Look at it not just as a little extra money, but look at it as a lifestyle thing and something you can pass on. So.
Okay. Thank you.